The Denver Broncos just made a bold statement, one that's shaking up the entire NFL conversation. The advanced analytics pouring in online are backing it up, and it's no wonder why Shaun Payton said this is one of the few teams in his career that truly has Super Bowl potential. The numbers are unbelievable, and the story just got even better with the activation of Malcolm Roach, a huge boost to an already fierce defense. The Broncos have crossed the pond, ready to prove there's no place like London when you're wearing orange and blue. Before we dive into the full breakdown, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. And of course, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Now, back to business, because what Shaun Payton said inside that locker room hit every player like a thunderbolt. The fog machine was rolling, energy was electric, and he looked his team in the eyes and asked one simple question: who are you afraid of? The answer was clear: nobody. This Broncos team isn't backing down from anyone. We already know this defense ranks among the best in the league. They just shut down Jalen Hurts, a quarterback surrounded by elite weapons, a monstrous offensive line, and one of the toughest running attacks in football. Yet in that fourth quarter, Denver stoned them cold. And now, with Malcolm Roach back in the mix, a player who's been grinding to return, this defense is only getting stronger. He's already a limited participant in practice, and once he's fully activated, expect the Broncos' front line to reach a whole new level of dominance. Because make no mistake, this team is built for a fight. Players across the locker room, from DJ Jones to countless others, can't stop praising Malcolm Roach for what he brings both on and off the field. His presence changes everything. With him back in the lineup, this already dominant Broncos defense is about to reach an entirely new level. Just last week, Denver stopped the run so effectively that Saquon Barkley barely even got the ball. Opposing offenses are realizing that running against the Broncos front is a losing battle, and for the New York Jets, it's about to become an absolute nightmare. But that's not the only reason for excitement. There's something deeper happening within this team. Dre Greenlaw joined the Broncos on their London trip, and that move means more than most people realize. As Jonathan Cooper mentioned in his press conference, trips like these bring the players closer together. In the grind of an NFL season, it's easy to get caught up in daily life, family routines, responsibilities, the non-stop schedule. But this is different. It's a chance for these men to forget everything else and reconnect as brothers in battle. It's like the college days again, a rare opportunity to focus purely on the bond that makes a team unstoppable. And having Dre Greenlaw there, even while working through injury, is huge. He's the spark, the emotional fire of this defense. We've seen him pump up his teammates before every game, and now, he's right there with them on this overseas mission. That kind of energy can't be taught. It's contagious. This unity is exactly why Shaun Payton stood before his team and asked, "Who are you scared of?" Because when you look at the numbers, when you see the passion, the chemistry, and the data pouring in from unbiased analysts, the answer is crystal clear. The Denver Broncos belong among the elite. Take the rushing stats, for example. Among the top 5 rushers in the league this season, JK Dobbins sits at number 5, and even with players of his caliber, the Broncos' defense has held strong. Their consistency, intensity, and sheer willpower are setting the tone for the entire league. Because right now, this isn't just about talent. It's about belief. And Denver believes. Here's where things get even more exciting. JK Dobbins is currently only 78 yards behind Jonathan Taylor, despite having a fraction of the carries. Think about that. If the Broncos used Dobbins the way other teams rely on their lead backs, he'd likely be sitting comfortably at number 1 in rushing yards right now. But here's the brilliance of Shaun Payton: he's playing the long game. He knows keeping Dobbins healthy is vital for the Broncos' deep playoff push. It's smart, it's patient, and it's paying off. And the dominance doesn't stop there. Let's talk trenches, the offensive line. Who's protecting the quarterback better than almost anyone else in the NFL? Look no further than Denver. The Broncos aren't just showing up on the list of top-performing tackles, they're dominating it with two names, Garrett Bowles and Mike McGlinchey. Both are healthy, both are holding strong, and both have been outstanding in limiting pressures and sacks. This kind of stability up front doesn't just happen, it's built through discipline, chemistry, and trust. And as the season progresses, this line is only going to get scarier. Now, flip to the defensive side, and here's where the fireworks really begin. Among the top sack leaders in the NFL, one name stands out, Nick Bonito. He's sitting near the top with a commanding lead over Byron Young, despite playing only about 60% of the snaps in recent games. That's right, Bonito has been on a controlled pitch count, a strategic move to keep him fresh for the long haul. And yet, even while facing some of the league's best offensive lines, teams like the Chargers, Colts, and Eagles, he's still leading the way. This isn't just breakout potential. This is historic. If Bonito keeps this pace, he's not just chasing Von Miller's franchise record, he's on track to challenge the NFL's all-time single-season sack record. What we're witnessing is the rise of a new defensive star, one who embodies everything the Denver Broncos stand for: grit, passion, and relentless pursuit of greatness. Because right now, this defense isn't just good, it's borderline legendary. And just when you think the story can't get any better, the offense steps up. Courtland Sutton, a player who just took a massive hometown discount to stay in Denver, is now ranked among the top 15 receivers in the league in total receiving yards through 5 weeks. That's incredible when you consider the level of competition he's faced, elite defenses like the Eagles and Chargers, both packed with top-tier talent. Sutton was asked why he chose to take less money to stay with the Broncos, and his answer was simple: in Denver, it's not about the money. It's about belief. That one line says everything you need to know about this team. It's not just Sutton, that same mindset runs through the locker room. Nick Bonito, Quinn Meinerz, Patrick Surtain too, each of them could have chased bigger paydays elsewhere. But they didn't. They stayed because they believe in what's being built here. That kind of loyalty doesn't come from contracts, it comes from conviction. It's a bond that says, we're in this together. We're building something real. And the stats back it up. Not only is Bonito ranked second in the league in sacks, but Jonathan Cooper isn't far behind, sitting at 18th. Having one player in that range would be impressive for most teams. The Broncos have two. That's not luck, that's dominance. And here's the most impressive part: these numbers aren't inflated by all-out blitzes or reckless defensive schemes. This isn't about throwing everyone at the quarterback. Under Vance Joseph, the Broncos are winning battles straight up, using technique, timing, and trust. This defense is attacking smarter, not harder. The offense is growing in confidence. And the entire team? They're starting to look like something special, something built to last. Because belief isn't just a slogan in Denver, it's the foundation. What makes this Broncos defense so special isn't just the results, it's how they're getting them. Most of their pressure doesn't come from heavy blitzes or risky play calls. No, Denver is dominating with just 4 rushers. That's the kind of efficiency you see from championship-caliber teams. Remember, this is the same defensive formula the Philadelphia Eagles used to disrupt Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, collapsing the pocket with 4 men, forcing impossible reads and constant pressure. When a defense can win with only 4 pass rushers, it changes everything. It lets the secondary tighten up coverage, forces quarterbacks to hesitate, and turns every down into a nightmare. That's exactly what's happening in Denver right now. The Broncos' defensive front is feasting, and they're doing it against elite offensive lines. They've faced teams like the Colts, Titans, and Eagles, all known for their protection, and still managed to hit Jalen Hurts, Cam Ward, and others repeatedly. These aren't weak opponents. These are some of the best in the league, and Denver's defense has owned the line of scrimmage. And it's not just one side of the ball shining. On offense, the Broncos' line has been just as dominant, keeping Bo Nix upright and giving him the time he needs to make plays. Their pass protection has been among the best in football, and that balance, between a wall of protection and a wave of defensive pressure, is exactly what championship teams are built on. Statistically, the results are undeniable. Despite facing top-tier offenses week after week, Denver's defense has allowed only 84 points this season. That's one of the lowest totals in the league, and it's giving Bo Nix the freedom to manage games with confidence, not desperation. This is what balance looks like. This is what belief creates. And this is what makes the Denver Broncos dangerous again. Because when you can dominate both sides of the line, and do it with poise, power, and unity, you're not just winning games. You're building a legacy. As the season rolls forward, the pieces the Broncos dreamed about all off-season are finally coming together, and it's starting to show on the field. We're seeing the connections, the rhythm, and the chemistry that fans have been waiting for. JK Dobbins has found his stride, rushing for over 100 yards last week, proving that Denver's ground game is officially alive and thriving. But what really stands out is how the offense is evolving as a unit. Players are stepping up, filling roles, and creating moments that remind everyone of what this team can be when it's firing on all cylinders. Take Evan Engram, for example. After weeks of questions and criticism, he finally made the kind of play that silenced every doubt, going up high to snatch a ball most receivers wouldn't even attempt. The degree of difficulty was off the charts, but Engram made it look effortless. These are the plays that define momentum. These are the moments that shift seasons. When you combine a resurgent offense with an already dominant defense, you start to see something special forming in Denver, the kind of balance that turns potential into power. Because this isn't luck. This is what happens when belief, preparation, and passion collide. The Denver Broncos are starting to look like a complete team, one that's not just competing, but believing again. That incredible touchdown grab was just the beginning. The connection, the precision, it was everything fans have been waiting to see. And speaking of excitement, let's talk about one of the brightest young talents on this roster, Jaden. His impact might not show up in every box score, but if you've been watching closely, you feel his presence every time he's on the field. Some question the decision to draft Barron instead of taking another running back early. But week by week, that choice is looking like a brilliant move. Even with limited snaps, Barron has been electric, especially last week, when he helped shut down Dallas Goedert, one of the toughest tight ends in the game. Until Dre Greenlaw returns, the Broncos' inside linebacker group has been tested by opposing tight ends. But Barron stepped in and played beyond his years, locking down his assignments and showing incredible football IQ. Vance Joseph has been smart about his development, easing him into the defense without overwhelming him. That patience is paying off. While some rookies around the league are struggling under pressure, Barron is growing steadily, showing instincts and confidence that can't be coached. Even on screens, one of the hardest plays to defend, Barron is outstanding. He reads, reacts, and closes space like a veteran. The kid just knows where to be. And here's the truth, the Broncos already have one of the best defenses in football. They've got an emerging running game, a star receiver in Courtland Sutton, and a locker room full of belief. But when it comes to how far this team can really go, it all comes down to one man, Bo Nix. The advanced analytics tell the story, 2 years of steady growth, refinement, and leadership all leading to this moment. Bo Nix isn't just managing games, he's commanding them. He's the heartbeat of this offense, the reason this team has real playoff ambitions. And right now, the Denver Broncos are starting to look like a team no one wants to face when January arrives. When you break down the advanced analytics, play by play, drive by drive, the growth of Bo Nix becomes undeniable. Over the last 2 years, his trajectory has been nothing short of remarkable. In those early games, we saw flashes, moments where you caught a glimpse of what he could become. But now? We're watching it happen in real time. Bo Nix is no longer a potential story. He's the story. Every week, his command of the offense deepens. His decisions are sharper. His poise under pressure, elite. And what's even more exciting is that his rise shows no signs of slowing down. This isn't a lucky streak. It's the result of relentless preparation, film study, and obsession with getting better. Shaun Payton knows that better than anyone. If Nix weren't the real deal, Payton wouldn't go on national television calling him a future top 5 quarterback. Coaches don't hand out praise like that unless they've seen something truly special. Meanwhile, some of the so-called generational prospects, Caleb Williams, JJ McCarthy, Spencer Rattler, are fighting inconsistency, injuries, and pressure. Their arcs are flattening. Bo Nix's, on the other hand, keeps climbing higher. And remember one of the biggest early criticisms? Bo overthrows his receivers. Some even called it the Boverthrow. But here's the truth, statistically, Nix isn't even close to leading the league in overthrows. That title actually belongs to Patrick Mahomes. So let that sink in. The rookie that critics once labeled as inaccurate is now one of the most precise passers in football. What we're witnessing is the evolution of a leader. A quarterback who's rewriting the narrative, not just for himself, but for the Denver Broncos. Because make no mistake, Bo Nix isn't just climbing. He's rising, and so is Denver. It's wild when you look at the numbers. Patrick Mahomes, the reigning MVP, the standard for precision, actually leads the league in both overthrows and underthrows. Think about that for a second. The man can miss long and short in the same season. That's no easy feat. Props to Mahomes for pulling off the impossible. But here's the real story, Bo Nix's misses aren't predictable. When he's incomplete, it's not because of one recurring issue, it's because he's adapting, adjusting, and testing defenses in new ways. The stat that stands out? Bo has only 4 incompletions caused by defenders cutting off routes. That's it. 4. Every other misfire has come from unique situations, which tells you one thing: no defense in the NFL has figured Bo Nix out. And remember when analysts spent the entire offseason saying, once defensive coordinators get film on Nix, he'll struggle? Yeah. That didn't age well. Because right now, the kid is calm, controlled, and completely unpredictable. He's playing like a veteran, reading defenses, adapting in real time, and staying 2 steps ahead of the blitz. So when Shaun Payton says, "Who are you scared of?" the answer is nobody. Because for the first time in a long time, the Denver Broncos have the numbers, and the momentum, on their side. According to ESPN's playoff odds, Denver now sits at nearly a 70% chance to make the postseason. A 36% shot to win the AFC West. A 10% chance to reach the Super Bowl. And here's the jaw-dropper: the Chargers have only a 32% chance to win the division. The Chiefs? Just 31%. For the first time in years, the math, the metrics, and the momentum, all point one way. Denver's time is now. And here's the best part: the path ahead is built for victory. Unlike past years, when easy wins somehow turned into trap games, Shaun Payton has completely rewritten that story. Since taking over, he hasn't lost a single game that Denver was supposed to win. Not one. There's a different energy now, discipline, confidence, and preparation like we haven't seen in years. This team walks into every matchup knowing exactly who they are and what they're capable of. And as we head into this next stretch, the news keeps getting better. Injuries are clearing up. Momentum is building. Meanwhile, the New York Jets, winless, struggling, and traveling overseas, are limping into London with a rookie head coach, no starting corner, and without key receivers like Allen Lazard and Michael Carter. Everything, the schedule, the stats, the storylines, is lining up for the Broncos to take command early and stay 2 games ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs. And this Sunday morning, from London, the mission continues. Broncos country, this is our moment. We've got belief. We've got leadership. And we've got a team that's finally ready to rise again. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends, and of course, hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. Because trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. From London to Mile High, Denver is rising strong.